Hello YouTubers, this is 757 Die Forever coming at you with another highly anticipated and highly recommended model as I continue to play catch up. Today I'll be doing a review on an Inflight vintage Eastern Airlines Boeing 757-200 Jetliner aircraft and their iconic hockey stick livery scheme in a 1/200 scale model. I purchased this model from Easy Toys and their website address is www.easytoys.com. But first, before I go into details about this particular vintage aircraft model, please allow me to share with you some information about the history of Eastern Airlines and how they actually came about as an airline carrier, even though Eastern Airlines is no longer operating in service at the time of this video review posting. Eastern Airlines was an American-based airline carrier that was founded on April 19, 1926 and was formed under the airline's original name of Pitcairn Aviation after the airline carrier was awarded a government contract to fly mail between New York City and Atlanta, Georgia using a mail-wing single aircraft and operated under that airline's name for 3 years until it was acquired by the late Clement Keyes, who was the actual owner of North American Aviation at the time in 1929. Then changed the company's name from Pitcairn Aviation to Eastern Air Transport a year later in 1930 and operated under the Eastern Air Transport name until the airline carrier was eventually acquired and purchased by the American-based automobile maker General Motors shortly thereafter, and after a change in leadership that officially took place after the Airmail Act of 1934 was officially passed, the airline carrier officially became known to the world of aviation as Eastern Airlines. Then fast forward to 1938. And that's when the Medal of Honor recipient and fighter pilot of World War I, Eddie Rickenbacker, and Sidney Shannon acquired American-based airline carrier Eastern Airlines from the American-based automobile maker General Motors after Rickenbacker and Shannon presented Alfred P. Sloan Jr., who was actually the president, the chairman, and CEO, chief executive officer of General Motors at the time, a certified check for approximately $3.5 million US, which is equivalent to about 76 million US dollars in today's economy due to adjusted inflation, as the American-based airline carrier continued to operate under the Eastern Airlines name for over 53 years until Eastern Airlines officially ceased operations as an airline carrier on July 19, 1991, after 65 years of flying as an American-based airline carrier, eventually become the first of 3 major airline carriers along with Pan Am and Midway Airlines respectively, that also ceased operations as a major airline carrier in the year of 1991 as well. But before the dissolution as well as the liquidation of Eastern Airlines that officially took place on January 19, 1991, the corporate headquarters of Eastern Airlines prior to 1975 was located at 10 Rockefeller Plaza in New York City, New York. And after 1975, the corporate headquarters of Eastern Airlines was relocated to Miami, Florida, and was located along with the airline's main hub and base of operations on the grounds of Miami International Airport, which is located approximately 8 miles west-northwest of the downtown district section of Miami, Florida, which is situated in an unincorporated area in Miami-Dade County, Florida. Whereas the secondary hubs of Eastern Airlines were located at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, located in Atlanta, Georgia, Charlotte Douglas International Airport, located in Charlotte, North Carolina, Kansas City International Airport, located in Kansas City, Missouri, John F. Kennedy International Airport, located in Jamaica, Queens, New York, LaGuardia Airport, located in East Elmhurst, Queens, New York, Philadelphia International Airport, located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Luis Munoz Marin International Airport, located in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and Reagan Washington National Airport, located in the Washington, D.C. suburb of Arlington, Virginia. And the focus city hubs of Eastern Airlines were located at Chicago O'Hare International Airport, located in Chicago, Illinois, Orlando International Airport, located in Orlando, Florida, and Tampa International Airport in Tampa, Florida. And prior to Eastern Airlines officially ceasing operations as an airline carrier on January 19, 1991, Eastern Airlines previously flew to 26 countries across 3 inhabited continents across the Caribbean, Europe, and North and South America, with an operating fleet of 331 mainline aircraft that included 25 Boeing 757-200s, including this one here, with no unfulfilled orders pending on this particular aircraft type variant. And the Boeing customer code for Eastern Airlines for this particular aircraft was 25. All right, everyone. Let's take a look at the front of the box here. What you see is the Boeing 757-200. That's this aircraft variant. The airline's corporate logo, the Eastern billboard title, the computer-generated picture of the aircraft, the registration ship number, the Inflight 200 decal, as well as the item number information you see at the front of the box. All right, now you're looking at the back of the box. What you see is the Inflight 200 decal, the Boeing official licensed product decal, as well as the app. You can download this app on Android as well as the iPhone. I got the iPhone. I'm having a hard time downloading on there, but there's the little scan there. You can scan and get through the website that way as well. All right, now you're looking at the top of the box where you see the Boeing 757-200 decal, which is this aircraft type, the Eastern Airlines corporate logo, the Eastern billboard title, the computer-generated picture of the aircraft, the registration ship number, the 1/200 scale model information, the website address of in-flight models, as well as the item number information you see at the top of the box, as well as the bottom of the box. Check it out. There it is. All right, now you're looking at the actual model stand that came with the model. We're going to start at the bottom of the model stand. You see this little plaque here. You see the Eastern Airlines corporate logo. You see displayed there. The Eastern billboard title, the aircraft type, as well as the scale model information you see there inside that plaque. Then you come up here, you see this little black patent there, everyone. The sole purpose of that black patent is that pad not only protects your model, it also prevents being damaged and scratched when and if you decide you want to put your aircraft model into a particular model stand. All right. All right. Now you're looking at this plastic bag, and what you see in this plastic bag are the actual gear replacement doors, featuring the two little toothpicks for these gear replacement doors for this particular aircraft model. Please stay tuned as I go into detail for the sole purpose of these gear replacement doors on this particular aircraft model. Okay. All right, with all the information out of the way about the history of Eastern Airlines, how they actually came about as an airline carrier, and even though they're no longer operating as an airline carrier at the time of this video review posting, plus all the details here at the front of the box, as well as the information at the back of the box, the actual model stand that came with the model, as well as the gear replacement door you see inside that plastic bag. With no further ado, everyone, here is the actual model out of the packaging box. Check it out. There it is, everyone. The in-flight vintage Eastern Airlines Boeing 757-200 Jetliner aircraft in their iconic hockey stick livery scheme. All right, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to share with you some information about the Eastern Airlines Boeing 757-200 Jetliner aircraft you're looking at here and how it became a part of their fleet. Eastern Airlines officially became the actual launch customer as well as the actual launch operator of this particular aircraft variant, the Boeing 757-200 Jetliner aircraft, as Eastern Airlines took delivery of its first of 25 Boeing 757-200s that Eastern Airlines had placed orders for sometime back in 1978 and received their very first Boeing 757-200 Jetliner aircraft, which bears the registration ship number November 506 EA on December 22, 1982, and took delivery of their very last Boeing 757-200 Jetliner aircraft, which bears the registration ship number November 525 EA on December 19, 1986. Eastern Airlines previously at one time registered and operated as many as 25 Boeing 757-200s in their fleet. And now at the time of this video review posting, Eastern Airlines is no longer operating in service, as this former American-based airline carrier officially ceased operations as an airline carrier on January 19, 1991, as their entire fleet of Boeing 757-200 has since been sold to various airline customers such as Air 2000, Airtours, America West Airlines, Birgen Air, MGN Grand Air, NASA, Nationair, US Air, LTE, and LTU respectively at the time of this video review posting. Let's talk about this iconic livery scheme you see on this aircraft model. This iconic livery scheme was actually the very last livery scheme of the former American-based airline carrier Eastern Airlines, in which this particular livery scheme was actually called the Hockeystick Livery Scheme, in which this livery scheme was actually similar to the original Hockeystick livery scheme, which was unveiled sometime in 1964, as this livery scheme was unveiled to the general public sometime in 1977. And the only other changes that actually came about from the original hockey stick livery scheme was the whole natural metal look that's actually displayed on this entire fuselage of this particular aircraft, as well as the darker blue cheat line stripe that's displayed curved down from the tail fin of the aircraft down to the front nose cone of the aircraft, as Eastern Airlines sported this iconic livery scheme for almost 14 years until the former American-based airline carrier officially ceased operations as an airline carrier on January 19, 1991, as the airline carrier's iconic hockey stick livery scheme was actually developed and created by the consultancy firm of Lippincott, whose global headquarters is located in New York City, New York. So, with all that information out of the way about Eastern Airlines becoming the actual launch customer of this particular aircraft, as well as the iconic hockey stick livery scheme you see displayed here, with no further ado, everyone, allow me to get down to the nitty-gritty and show you all the details on this aircraft model. Shall we? Let's check it out. All right, now you're looking at the front of the aircraft here on the port side's left side. We're going to start at the front as always. You see the front nose landing gears here, the landing gear struts, the landing gear doors. You see the pitot tubes and the static ports right there. The 501, that's the fleet number. You see the radome nose cone, as well as the cockpit windows and the windshield wipers. I'm going to give you a better visual view of those details later on in the model review. But right next to the L1 entrance door is the airline's corporate logo, which is by this Eastern billboard tire right here. There is the logo right there. This was the corporate logo of American-based airline carrier Eastern Airlines, which was unveiled in 1969, which resembled that of a minimalistic Falcon that's made up of only two lines on a dark blue oval background, as this was the airline's official logo for almost 22 years until Eastern Airlines officially ceased operations as an airline carrier on January 19, 1991. Now, right on by the L2 entrance door is the American flag decal, which is displayed about right here. This flag decal represents the country where Eastern Airlines previously operated from as one of the major flag carrier airlines of the United States of America for almost 65 years, from April 19, 1926 up until the airline officially ceased operations as an American-based airline carrier on January 19, 1991. Okay? All right, we're at the center of the aircraft here on the port side, and underneath the wing, you see the side vision view of the landing bogey gears here, which include the landing gear doors, and these big massive engines you see here, very detailed. These are the Rolls-Royce RB211-535 E4 turbofan type engines that was used on this particular Eastern Airlines Boeing 757-200 Jetliner aircraft. Now, we're going to turn this aircraft model around. We're going to look at the front of the engine blades. We're going to see if the turbofan blades do spin. Let's check it out. All right, now you're looking at the front of the engines here on the port side's left side. We're going to see if the fan blades do spin. Perfect. Awesome. There you have it there. Then you see the inboard landing lights you see there on the edge of the wing right there, as well as the front vision view of the landing bogey gears, which includes the landing gear struts, as well as the landing gear doors. Now you're looking at the engines on the starboard/right side of the aircraft. And does the fan blade spin over here as well? Yes, they do. Perfect. And then there's the inboard landing light, as well as the front vision view of the landing bogey gears you see here, as including the landing gear struts, as well as the landing gear doors. All right, now you're looking at the front of the aircraft, the entire front of the aircraft, where you got a better visual view of the cockpit windows, the windshield wipers, the radome nose cone, which is painted mostly in black, you see there. The front nose landing gear doors, the landing gear structure includes the landing gear lights you see there, as well as the front vision view of the front nose landing gears, okay? All right, now you're looking at the edge of the wingtip here on the port/left side of the aircraft, where you see the red navigation light, which is displayed about right there, as well as the strobe light you see there as well. All right, now we're at the back of the aircraft here on the port side's left side, and right above the window is the actual registration ship number, November 501 Echo Alpha, which is this information you see there. Registration ship number, November 501 Echo Alpha. This particular aircraft was actually the 8th Boeing 757-200 Jetliner aircraft that officially entered the Eastern Airlines fleet. And the first test flight on this aircraft took place on March 28, 1982, and was delivered to Eastern Airlines on April 18, 1983. and operated in the Eastern Airlines fleet for almost 8 years until this aircraft was officially withdrawn from service on January 18, 1991, a day before Eastern Airlines officially ceased operations as an airline carrier on January 19, 1991. Then was sold to Nassau on December 8, 1994. Then was sold to Flight International Corporation on January 24, 2009. Then was finally sold to L3 Capital LLC on April 23, 2009. As this particular aircraft, as we speak, is currently stored up at an undisclosed location at the time of this video review posting. And then you see the 757 decal displayed on the tail fin of the aircraft right there. And this particular number is actually the number variant of this particular jetliner aircraft, the Boeing 757. All right, now you're looking at this aircraft from the rear view angle. What you're looking at is the APU, which literally stands auxiliary power unit exhaust hole. There is a hole there, you see there. As well as the entire aircraft from the rear view angle as well. Check it out. There you have it. Awesome. All right, now you're looking at the starboard / right side of the aircraft. We're going to start at the front as always. You see the front nose landing gears, the landing gear struts, the landing gear door. See the pitot tube and the static ports, what have you. The fleet number 501. The radome nose cone, the windshield wipers, the cockpit windows. The Eastern billboard title, the airline's corporate logo. The front bulk bin loading door, as well as the American flag decal you see displayed there next to the R2 door. All right, now you're looking at the center aircraft here on the starboard / right side. Underneath the wings, you see the nice little Rolls-Royce RB211-535E4 turbofan engines, which right here, along with the engine cones right there, and the engine column very detailed, as well as the side vision view of the landing gears you see here, including the landing gear struts, as well as the landing gear door. All right, now you're looking at the edge of the wingtip here on the starboard / right side, where you see the green navigation light you see there, as well as the strobe light you see on the edge of the wingtip you see there as well. All right, now you're looking at the back of the aircraft here on the starboard side, where you see the rear bulk bin loading door here, the registration ship number, as well as the 757 billboard title, which is this aircraft type displayed here on the tail fin of the aircraft as well. All right. All right. Before I show you this aircraft model from the aerial bird's eye view, as well as the undercarriage belly view in full detail, allow me to let you check out one feature, which is the rolling gear. So let's check that out. Okay. Rolls pretty good. It also tilts, as you can see there. And the front nose landing gears, it swivels a little bit, not too much, but you got to be careful with this, the front nose landing gear, because it could break off. But other than that, it's pretty good. So with that said, let's check this aircraft model from the aerial bird's eye view. All right. All right, now you're looking at this aircraft model from the aerial bird's eye view. We're going to start at the front of the aircraft as always. You see the black radome nose cone, the windshield wipers, the cockpit windows. Then you come up this way, you see the Eastern billboard title and the corporate logo on both sides, the anti-collision beacon light, a high-frequency antenna, the ADF antenna, as well as the tail fin of the aircraft, which includes the horizontal stabilizers there and there as well. And then we come up here, the wings, the engines, as well as the flap, slats, aileron spoilers, what have you. The fuel dump valve, sorry about that, strip, the strobe light. And then we come over this way, no wing walkway, but you got the engines there, as well as the top of the wings, which includes the flap, slats, aileron spoilers, what have you. And you see the fuel dump valve on this side of the aircraft as well. All right, now looking at the undercarriage belly view of this aircraft models, I'll display that in full detail as well. You see the radome nose cone, the crew escape hatch door. And then you look at there, the front nose landing gear door, as well as the front nose landing gears. And then you come up this way, a high frequency antenna, the anti-collision beacon light, the hole where the model stand actually goes in at, pressure relief valve, the APU housing door, as well as the horizontal stabilizers underneath. And then we come here to the gears. Little problem tilting, but that's okay. The engines you see there, as well as the wings underneath, which includes the flap, slats, aileron spoilers, what have you. Fuel dump valve you see there. Now let's check out over here. It took a little bit. Okay. You see the engines there, as well as the wings underneath, which includes the flaps, slats, aileron spoilers, what have you, as well as the fuel dump valve you see on this side of the aircraft as well. All right, since I show you this aircraft model from the aerial bird's eye view in full detail, as well as the undercarriage belly view there as well, now I'm going to put on that model stand you see there to the left on this model stand. So no further ado, everyone, here is the actual model on the model stand. Check it out. All right, I finally got this model on the stand. You see it being displayed in a takeoff landing position without no hesitation. Now I'm gonna allow this model to rotate in a clockwise rotation, starting with the port side, then the tail cam angle, then the starboard side, then the front of the aircraft, and then back to the port side. Check it out. Okay, before I take this model off the stand, I got it at this angle for a reason, and the reason is the magnetic gears that came with this model. So I'm gonna go ahead and take off the magnetic gears, starting with the front nose landing gear first here. That's magnetic, you see there. The gears here on the port side there, as well as the gears on the starboard side you see there as well, okay? Now I'm gonna allow you to see this model at a different angle in flight mode position with the model on the stand. Check it out. All right, now you see in this model being displayed in flight mode position with the gears up on there without the gears. You see displayed there. Now you got one or two options how you want to display your model. You want to continue to display your model like this in flight mode position with in the gears up situation without the gears, that's fine. You see this plastic bag here with the gear replacement doors featuring the two little toothpicks I showed you earlier. That's the sole purpose of these gear replacement doors, so you substitute your model like this while it's in flight mode / gears up position. Gears up, gear down, that's your choice. I choose to keep the gears on mine because that adds more value to the model. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and put these gears back on this model, take this model off the stand, and go ahead and wrap up this model review, okay? All right, let's talk about the seating configuration. The Eastern Airlines Boeing 757-200 Jetliner aircraft seated 185 passengers in a two-class configured cabin layout. From here to here, my guess, it had 16 business class seats, and from here all the way back to the rear of the aircraft, you had additional 169 economy class seats, which brought the total 185 seats. And finally, from 1982 up until this particular vintage Jetliner aircraft was officially withdrawn from service on January 18, 1991. Eastern Airlines previously utilized this particular aircraft on routes throughout North and South America, as well as the Caribbean from their operational base hubs at Atlanta, Georgia, Charlotte, North Carolina, Kansas City, Missouri, Miami, Florida, New York, JFK, New York, LaGuardia, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, San Juan, Puerto Rico, Washington Reagan National, Chicago O'Hare, Orlando, Florida, and Tampa, Florida. Well, everyone, this will conclude this model review. I'd like to know if you got this model or you plan on getting this model. If you can find it, Jim now just came out with a model similar to this one. But your only outside chance of getting this model at this point, if you can find it there, is on eBay. Because most of this model sold out pretty quickly. So if you can get your hands on it, highly recommend it. So with that being said, take care, God bless, stay tuned. There's more model content coming. Peace.